Return with Josh and Maria Cribbs. I am Maria Cribbs.
And I am Josh Cribbs. Welcome to the return.
Another beautiful day. Now, Josh, I will say this is gloomy here in Cleveland, viewers watching. But
not
it feels
gloomy.
like it's summertime because it's been so cold here lately.
Right.
At 30 degrees feels like I'm having a hot flash.
I seen a meme, right? And the meme was, because, just a week ago, we had below minus 10 degrees, frigid temperatures, felt like, we was going to freeze outside. And then it was a meme saying, and it was snowing regularly. This more like it. The warm air and while it's snowing. And it was like, the 30-degree weather. That's what I like.
That's what it is,
like
right
it's
here.
warm.
And actually tomorrow.
But it actually did feel like it.
It did, yeah.
It felt like it was a lot
relief.
warmer. It was a relief.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't like the cold didn't hurt. It wasn't that hawk outside. It literally, the cold air hurts. It's like, it stings.
Well, I mean,
right?
Yeah. Did this, you felt warm though? Because you don't wear a coat no matter what the weather is outside. Josh does not own a
Is
winter
that a
coat. We talked
problem,
about this
Ryan?
before. I
get that a lot.
Ryan, do you own a
Where's
winter
your coat?
Well, are you getting sick?
I'm not.
So then I don't think it's an issue.
This is
And
the
I
thing,
don't
Ryan.
expect
I
to
think
be outside.
I think he gets sick because he was an NFL player. So imagine all the germs in the locker room, the sweat, and going up against all the other guys. I think your body is used to fight. Your immune system probably is immaculate.
Well, there you
So I
go.
think he
Stop
gets
telling me to
sick.
get a coat.
I think he's sick. He's a carrier. That's what you are. You're
I'm
a carrier.
I'm the carrier.
Yes.
Remember those? Remember that young couple that were grounding everywhere?
Yes.
That's what that reminded me of.
See?
Oh, okay. So that's how you feel, huh?
Why?
I
Wait a
just
minute,
don't think
you
I
here-
need a coat because I don't get out. I don't get outside and be outside chilling. I only need to be warm from the car to the place.
But say you get into
wherever
an
I'm
accident
going.
or you get a flat tire and your
Maria
car breaks
always
down,
says that.
I travel with blankets. I travel with 2 coats, a blanket.
She
some
prepares
electric
for
hand
an
warmers,
accident
because
and we
you
gotta
never
sleep.
know.
And we gotta sleep in the car. That's
it's
what she
crazy
prepares
because
for.
when
My
I
mom's
used-
the same way.
Yeah, see, when I used to go to Kent State though, I would drive up and down 71 with my 1980
With nothing.
my 1989 Honda Accord, barely
nothing.
working and wouldn't have anything.
And
now
if
we
you
have
if
better
you
cars.
stop, you'll be done. You'll be like, oh my God, I need to call 911 and wouldn't be able to do it.
My little flip phone trying to call some
Right.
help. Yeah, but now
And
we have
where's the
better cars.
nearest
And I have
payphone?
everything in my car. I'm prepared for the elements. But Josh, I will say this, viewers, we had company over our house on Saturday, which was Josh's family.
Right.
And it was embarrassing when we invited them over. Actually, we took them out to Mission Barbecue. Shout out to you all in Brunswick. They took very good care of us. And brought them back to the house.
I'm waiting
And
for
the
it.
house was ice cold.
Oh,
It was so
wow.
embarrassing.
Yes,
Our
it
heat went
was.
out. And it was cold.
Yeah, so I got home from out of town. Remember, Ryan?
double
I went out
funeral
of
he went
town
to. Yeah,
last
Tuesday.
week,
Yep.
last Tuesday. And I had just got back in town.
On Saturday evening.
And it was freezing.
It was embarrassing.
In the house.
It was embarrassing.
And I'm like, Maria, you been here all week?
Yeah,
And she was like,
That's honestly on Maria then.
right.
'Cause
She
she's
said
been
it
there.
just happened,
Yeah.
Ryan. I'm like, so when I got here with my family, the house it's freezing. It's just, I
It was
felt like
embarrassing.
it was.
So tell him what you did. So what Josh did, he went down to the basement and figured out it was the same part that broke 2 years ago or something like that. So what's
When the
going on?
pandemic first
Yeah.
started, 5 years.
Okay, so we called, when it broke down last time, sounds like we need a new furnace or something. Why does it keep
Right.
breaking down?
Said
but
we
when it
need a
broke
new
down
furnace.
last time, Josh called a HVAC person. They came over. They tried to quote him $2,000?
Yeah, $2,800.
So Josh show me what part it is. He showed me
I was
part.
like, what? So I paid $100 for the diagnostic.
Mm-hmm.
And they told me what it was.
Google the part. How much
and
is
I
the part,
Googled
Josh?
it. $100.
Yeah, man. Doesn't surprise me.
It was $89 this time.
And then he fixed it himself, Ryan. He did it again this time.
Cut my
And we
fingers
have
up a little
heat.
bit, Brian. I cut my fingers because the pieces, to unscrew the pieces.
You
and
got some big hands, though.
Yeah,
Josh.
but I couldn't get in. I don't have all the necessary tools to make it easy. Like, oh yeah, I need the flux capacitor wrench on that. I don't have all that. So I'm looking at it, I'm like, I can get that with whatchamacallit. And I can staple, I can put it on the end of of my flathead. And so I finagled the screws and got them off, removed the unit. It was my motor inducer. The inducer motor for
Oh,
the
you
fan.
HVAC folks out there, y'all know what that is. I have no clue
and
what that is.
I just replaced it.
Saved
and
yourself $3,000.
I saved myself a lot of money.
Good
you
job.
go.
On a
It took,
budget.
and it only took 2 days to get here because it was on a weekend. And as soon as it came, Maria was like, Are you about to, you fix it already? I'm like, damn, let me eat
Amazon
some
dropped it
dinner.
off first thing in the morning.
Yeah, I'm like, let me eat some lunch
I'm
or
like, hey, it's
something.
cold in here. We got the fireplace on. We had the oven on. It was crazy. It was freezing.
She tried
in
to
our
get
home,
me to
but
work
it's-
ASAP.
We back working now. So anybody watching, just know that Wednesday it's supposed to be almost 50 degrees. So it's gonna feel like it's really hot outside.
Oh,
Josh,
okay.
I want to show you a photo. Big Christmas.
Big Christmas. Oh yes,
Big Christmas. And the new Guardians manager.
Okay.
They was sitting courtside at the Cavs game.
Courtside.
Yeah. What's the new Guardians manager's name, Ryan?
Stephen Vogt, baby.
Stephen Vogt, baby. Yeah,
okay.
see? But I was like, you know what? They giving Spider a hug, dabbing him up, welcoming him to
Really?
Cleveland. Yeah, they
so
no
it's time
plush
for
leather
me.
seats.
It's time for us to go back to the Cavs game and kind of like, you know, because we had a time, right?
We always have a time.
We had our time.
Shout out to Miss Devin, who,
we literally had our time.
In the owner's suite. She always takes good care of us.
Yeah, and look, we used to be on the floor, right? I remember LeBron playing, and we had his shoes on. And he came and hollered at us, and he looked at the shoes and was like, oh, wow, on the wood. He took his shoes off, signed it, and had his guys send it to my house, take it and drop it off at my house.
The next day.
No, not the next day. Before we made it home, the bag was sitting on the.
It was. How did you do that?
I know the bag was
Hold
sitting
on,
on my
LeBron
stoop.
James know our
I wanted
address.
to be like, man, how you know where I live at?
Let me find out this.
I still have his
the
shoes.
James
He
family
signed
know our
both of them.
address.
Right, he signed both his shoes, and it was the ones he had on during the game. And he put to Josh on it. It's the ones he had on during the game because he took his insoles.
He took his
you know, you get
out.
the when you got your own
King James,
custom
go ahead and keep those insoles in there. Now we need them.
He kept his own insoles, but it was LeBron's.
But hold on,
man.
when you sign
I
autographs,
can't fit them though.
If you personalize it to someone,
it makes it so you can't pay it. But look, he put the two. It makes it unsellable when you personalize it. I didn't plan to sell it, but he did put the two Josh on one and his name on the other, so I could.
You could sell one of them.
Sell one, but I'm not gonna. It's in my display case. It's in my amongst my merchandise.
Bronny balling out. He was like, man, he scored like 30 in his team. So he doing big things. But if you want to watch the Cavs, they play the Miami Heat tomorrow down in Miami at 7:30.
Yeah, they're a good group. You know what I like about the Cavs right now, Ryan, is Garland is just the supporting cast. Everybody other than Spider is has made the jump. They made necessary jumps to put them in the runnings on the national attention when they were undefeated for a long time, and now they're sitting in a position to control their own fate to where it's like, hey man, I know y'all lost 3 in a row, but you could turn this thing around. Y'all could walk into the playoffs easily and kind of, make it a successful season,
Yeah, I mean, that's why they got one of the best records in the league. I mean, you go look at what the Celtics did last year, their formula. They were obviously a superstar starting five, but their bench went deep. Kenny likes to go sometimes 10, 11 guys deep, and that just speaks to the volumes of how confident he is in those guys. You see Ty Jerome playing really well. Sam Merrill gets in there. Max Strus is back now healthy. He's playing decently well. And then, as you mentioned, Darius Garland is playing out of his mind, at least the first half or the first quarter of the season he was. They've all kind of come down to earth a little bit, but that's natural. I mean, the season goes on, but you couldn't ask for a better start, and Kenny Atkinson has done an amazing job, just like Stephen Vogt did in his first year with the Guardians.
But we're going to need to see that once they hit the playoffs.
Yeah.
Once they get into, that playoff realm and all the eyes are tuned in, we need to see Garland. We need to see Darius, drop 40 like he did. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
We need to see that supporting cast and not just
all pull their own weight. Like they are all stars.
All of them.
But we got to talk about this big game coming up because now we know who's going to be playing in it. So
right.
Let's talk about that next. Don't
Absolutely.
go anywhere. We'll be right back. All right, now you guys, welcome back to the show. So we know which teams are going to the big game now. The Philadelphia Eagles.
Did you say the Philadelphia Chiefs? Lord have mercy on this woman.
This is a rematch, right?
The Eagles.
Haven't I seen this before?
The Eagles and the Chiefs are dancing once again.
The nation's team. Philly claims they're the nation's team.
Everybody claims they're the nation's team.
So
do the Stars.
The Philadelphia fans.
The Stars claim that Dallas claim that they're the nation's team.
When they had Jalen Hurts in that one commercial, I was like, oh, they pretty much solidified that Philadelphia Eagles is the
I never heard
team
the Eagles claiming they was the nation's team.
It just seemed like that to me. But hold on. I just want to talk
I know who the refs teams are, but go ahead.
Now, I want to talk about, did you see the Philadelphia Eagle fans, though? There's this street, I guess, out in Philly, which Philadelphia is one of my favorite cities in America.
You get the street,
I
you
want to go
gotta
there
get your hair
for my
done.
birthday, by the way. Right. So they were doing, look how they were celebrating, Josh. They were doing the electric slide out in the streets. Look right here, Josh. Like, they know how to party. So I was thinking, like, man, we win something big, at least make it to the end of the playoffs or, potentially, get a few rounds into the playoffs. We would be out there doing that.
Nah,
we might be doing the Tamia one. The I'm so
we'd
into
be at
you.
the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame shutting it down. I think our whole fan base will break into the Hall of Fame and we'll put on our own concert. And like Browns fans. They were like, we're not open.
We'd be right here East Night dancing.
I think we would riot for fun. Like we would I don't. I mean, like I remember us
Not for
for
fun.
the Cavs getting into the playoffs. LeBron and all downtown went crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And the Browns, like if the Browns got to the AFC Championship, I think our city would go crazy.
It would
Super
be
Bowl.
crazy.
Getting to the Super Bowl, I think they're going to have to call in the National Guard in Cleveland.
But do you think they would have to lube up the poles like they had to do in Philadelphia? I guess Philadelphia Eagles fans are known for climbing the poles, so the city has to lube them up in case
I
they
didn't
win.
know where that was going,
Ryan
Ryan.
got a video. Now, remember the one
I didn't
player?
know where that was going.
I was about the one player.
Lube the pole, Maria? I didn't know where. I was confused. I'm sorry.
Lube the poles outside so they won't...
I'm confused.
Ryan, where the video at? Now, remember that book, the inner piece that the one player was reading on the sideline. He climbed the pole and he has the book, Inner Peace. What's it called? No, Inner Excellence. Which I do want that book, by the way. I want to see what's in that book because they got
AJ, right?
Who was that? You remember who that was?
AJ,
who was on the sideline reading?
AJ Brown, yeah.
Yeah,
AJ.
see, and he up there. He got on the pole. I don't know how he still got on the pole. He must have had some alcohol or something. Because when we go to Christie's, in between dancers, they wipe the pole down with the alcohol. Yeah.
Okay.
You know, because it gets slippery because he be having on body glitter and stuff on.
Right,
Not that I'd be at
right,
Christie's
right.
like that or anything like that, but I just know. So, yeah, he had something that he did, you know. So
Yeah, I just don't. I think they lubing a street pole is not.
You got to do what you got to do.
I don't think that's the most effective way. I think if you don't want somebody to climb something, just like at prisons, they make something that protrudes so you can't go
barbed
up no
wire
more.
around our poles in the city of Cleveland. We need visitors.
Yeah, I'm not talking about barbed wire, like
Oh.
something that protrudes from it.
Okay.
Like a circular thing that comes out so I can't go up no further.
They're gonna find a way. They're gonna find a way.
Maybe you put a bracket of spikes on there. When it goes up a little bit, you got sharp things, like a big stack of.
As he's talking,
you can't go up
Ryan,
no
are you
more.
able
It's
to play
like,
the video of the Commanders fan?
Yeah.
What's the Commander
Yeah.
for?
Because I know you're semi a Commanders fan, right?
Yeah, that's my second team.
Okay, that's your second team.
Yeah.
And would
Used
you
to be
be
my
upset if
first.
someone did this to you? Now this fan is minding his own business. He in Philly. Things didn't go the way they thought it was going to go. And the fans are taunting him. You see him put the hat on. I ain't
Oh
think
yeah,
that
I'm gonna go ahead and get on the jaw. I'm gonna get on the good foot.
But look what's coming up right here, which I feel like, okay, this may have been taken a little too far.
Definitely.
They just taunting him. I mean, where's his homeboy? Where's his crew at? Why is he
If
by
it ain't
himself?
violent, this is how I want my fan base doing it.
Okay, it's not violent. But
This is how I want
I
Browns
think they
fans to do Steelers
Look,
fans
now
when
that,
we won.
You see that?
Now you assault.
Is that assault? Taking somebody's hat off?
Yeah, you touched them.
Yeah, you intruded on his personal space.
You
And I was like, now that.
you're going to jail now.
But does he
Like
have
the-
to have a certain level? You going to jail
Yeah,
now?
like the
Does he have to have a
bus
certain
driver.
level of confidence or boldness to want to be the Lone Ranger walking amongst the Eagles fans
I
with
think
his
every
Washington
fan-
Commanders gear on?
Every fan has.
Is it warranted?
Yeah, every fan. I know violence is not warranted. Assault is not warranted. But that's fandom.
Ryan is pulling off somebody's hat. Is
No,
that
that's
violence?
fandom.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh.
it's
They have
in
liquid
essence,
courage in
like,
them.
That was too
he's
much.
not getting physically hurt, but by the definition, you can't just touch somebody
That was
and rip off their
disrespectful.
hat.
To me, I
No,
was
it's
like-
scumbag behavior.
Yeah, that's what they named it too. Like,
Yeah.
look at these scumbag
They
fans. Yeah.
they all have liquid courage in them, right? We got to understand that that's a game.
Yeah.
They're at a game, and those are things that happen. So we have to understand also that police look at that differently than a regular occurrence. They
Yeah.
see it as, they'll probably put a guy in jail for the night and won't charge them for nothing. They just made him, disorderly conduct or something like that.
Yeah.
And then they'll probably drop it because they understand, it's fandom. It's like that everywhere. And I would probably bail out a few Browns fans if they did that to a Steelers fan. Minus the assault. I'm not claiming. I don't
He's
want
trying
them to
justify
assault.
it. Okay, so we talking about the fans right now.
Just saying.
When we come back, you want to dive into the game a little bit?
Yeah, please.
All right, don't go anywhere, you guys. We'll be right back. All right, now you guys, welcome back to The Return with Josh and Maria Cribbs. Now, Josh, you want to dive into the game?
Yeah, we could dive into it. I want to first talk about the Eagles defeating the Commanders.
Mhm.
I thought it was a pretty good game. I think that that game went like the Commanders lost, like the Ravens lost. Ryan, the turnovers. They fumbled a kick return.
Yeah.
They fumbled, a few times. I think Eckler fumbled too. It was just the turnovers. I hate to see turnovers this late in the year because now it's like, we didn't get to see the best on best.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, self-inflicted negatives. Even though this is why you don't make it, right? The better teams, they don't make mistakes. I would and this is why Kansas City goes every year. They played a lot of nonchalant football, like I don't have to do much, and we're gonna let you lose the game. You know, like
for yourself, you going
like every team played us late. They just didn't have come in with a real attack. They just
They just like
expected
they had
us.
to.
Exactly.
They gonna shoot their own self in
But
the
that's
foot.
what happened too, and I hated to see that because Jaden Daniels, quarterback of the Commanders, he had a really good season.
But did you feel he did? But I feel like that game was just like, because I know Izzy was rooting for him. He was like, man, this could be the first time. Would it have been the first time a rookie made it all the way if he would have
I
made
think
it?
Ben
not
Roethlisberger.
Okay, because I'm not 100 percent
I'm not
sure
sure
about
he made
that.
it to the Super Bowl, but
I feel
they
like
got
he-
pretty far.
I feel
He
like
went pretty far.
choked a little bit. And some of the plays I did, I'm like, why y'all throwing all these long balls and the receivers aren't catching them? It was just, I expected it to be more of a competition.
Right,
That wasn't that for me.
And I think it was. I think to say that the Commanders lost, Ryan, as opposed to Saquon Barkley dominating and going off, I think yes, the turnovers didn't help the Commanders, Maria.
Not at all.
However, you had, I think Saquon went for three tuds. And I think he was rewarded the MVP. You saw him and his wife standing,
Children, yeah.
and his children, his family. I was like, wow, like the highlight. And we couldn't help but, and they started posting the Giants phone call with the general manager telling Saquon Barkley, they're going to let him test the waters. And here's Saquon Barkley headed to a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Wow, what a turn of events.
I mean, Saquon, first and foremost, Saquon Barkley is the only person on the Eagles I can stand, so I'll say that.
What's up with that? Oh, he got some tea.
But
Brian
yeah,
got
they
some
pretty
tea.
much dictated the whole entire game against the Commanders. I mean, once you get early, then you just feed the rock to Saquon. And every game, it seems like he has a 60-yard touchdown at least. Credit to the Eagles. I mean, they've been incredible all season. They're one of the best defenses, one of the best offensive lines, and Jalen Hurts is at his best when he doesn't have to do too much. And Saquon has come and been everything that they thought he was going to be and more. Probably the best running back, single season from a running back I have, at least in recent memory, going back to like 2012 when Adrian Peterson won the MVP. But going to the Super Bowl now, if they're going to beat the Chiefs, then it's going to have to continue going through Saquon.
And, I just, that's important because the game plan should reflect how they're going to dominate you, right? They should, press the run. Or if they're going to do trickery or keep a defense off balance, then you don't know what's coming next. In a run situation, they might throw the ball. I think it will take all of that and no self-inflicted negatives, to win against the Chiefs they just been there and done it before. I know the Eagles were in it a lot, even with Nick Foles. And I know we've seen this matchup, but it's something about the Kansas City Chiefs under Andy Reid, Pat Mahomes. They just been there and done that. They know how to win these big games. To me, it's set up so the Chiefs can win. Not saying it's not yet saying that
we gonna get there.
We're gonna get there. But what I mean is they know how to win these big games. And
Andy Reid was with the Eagles too, wasn't he?
Yes, he was, and it's just a coincidence that they're both in it. However, Jalen, who's the quarterback of the Eagles?
Jalen
Hurts. Jalen Hurts. I mixed
Jalen
and
Daniels.
Jaden and Jalen.
Yeah, me too. I was doing it all weekend.
But to see the game between Buffalo and the Kansas City Chiefs and just how everything transpired. Here's a good question. Would you rather? Because the Buffalo Bills claim that their fan base, they have it so bad. And they went to all these Super Bowls, especially in the 90s when they lost to the Skins at the time, the now Commanders. And I was in the 4th grade. I loved them losing.
You remember that?
Yeah, because that's when I remember the team I rooted for at the time in D.C. won a Super Bowl. And it was against Buffalo. They had a lot of good players in Buffalo, though. Bruce Smith, Thurman Thomas. But anyway, they just have it so bad, Ryan. They go to all these Super Bowls and don't win, and they go to all these AFC championships and win it, and then and then lose. And they as a fan base, they just can't take it anymore, Ryan. It's like we want to win a Super Bowl, and we go all the time, Maria, and we never win. Is that valid? Would you rather be going to these games, or would you rather not tempt yourself and and just be going to the playoffs, or just because they make it seem like, it's such a bad thing. They will rather fire their coach or try to find somebody else so they can sort of get themselves over the hump. I say to them and to other fans, every year's a new year. With 32, 31 other teams have to figure it out from scratch. And they have to find the recipe that the Chiefs and the Patriots and these dynasties have found how to win.
So fill me in if I'm someone just now tuning in. Are the Chiefs and the Bills, are they always competing for this spot? It always ends up this way?
No.
Oh, okay. You just say any team that had to get past the Chiefs. So you just can't get past them.
Right. So
okay.
Bills win. It's the Bills against the Eagles. You know what I'm saying? But
they said Joe Burrow was the only QB that could give it to Mahomes.
Sometimes it ends up matchups like that.
Yeah.
But the Bills are complaining, right? And I don't. Is it?
Well, do the Chiefs?
Should they be? Hold on. Should they be more like should they show more gratitude?
It's valid. It's valid because I understand the frustration. You get there. Well, this is actually only the second time you've gotten to the AFC Championship game with Josh Allen, but nonetheless, you've been a deep playoff run team. You run the regular season. You win your division over and over again, but you just can't get over the hump of the Kansas City Chiefs. Like one year you lost to Burrow and company, but the Chiefs always have your number. I think 4-0 now in the postseason against Josh Allen. It's frustrating because you know how good Josh Allen is, right? It's not a scenario where like, oh, if we could just get an upgrade at quarterback. You're not getting an upgrade at quarterback from Josh Allen. The unfortunate part is you just happen to live in the era of the second greatest player right now to ever play the game in Patrick Mahomes. So I get the frustration, but it's certainly better than us. I would like to at least get a taste of the game, like actually have some real like thrilling moments where I'm like, oh my gosh, I could actually go to the Super Bowl, because we've never had anything close to that.
Would you rather go to those games?
Oh, I'd rather be in that. I'd rather be the Bills. Yeah, 100%.
I'd rather have a problem with going to the big game, Maria, and losing rather than not going to the big game at all.
You're basically telling them to be grateful that they made it that far.
I'm telling them more than be grateful.
You're speaking as a salty Browns fan who just never gets the chance.
And that's the other part of it. Are we just being salty? Do we feel like
a little salty dog?
If us being at this level could be at their level, we would be ungrateful? I'm going to go ahead and be unbiased. I feel like, yes, Ryan, we would be. Because I was grateful that we actually got upset for making it to the playoffs one year and then not making it to the AFC Championship past the first round, because we felt like, oh, we done that already. We're not grateful if we make it to the playoffs. We need to make a deep run in the playoffs. I'm like, whoa. We in the same division with the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Baltimore Ravens, and Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Our division is stacked.
I felt like it was always the Patriots and the Steelers making it to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, at one time it was under Ben Roethlisberger and company.
Okay.
It was.
The Chiefs the new Patriots?
The Chiefs took over that dynasty from Bill Belichick and Tom Brady. Yes.
All right, there we go.
Yes, and I mean they might.
We should expect to see them even more?
Are they doing better, or they need to win a few more times? Because I think Brady got 6, but 5 from one team.
Brady has 7 rings. But the thing is, with the whole Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady thing, like the Patriots are still the better dynasty, but let it breathe. Like the Chiefs could easily overcome that. Now, if they go and win the 3rd Super Bowl in a row, that'd be the greatest single achievement in team history, and it would be it'd speak measures to Patrick Mahomes and his greatness, along with Andy Reid and Travis Kelce. But Tom Brady has done basically what Mahomes done so far in his career. He did it twice. Okay. He won 6 rings, went to Tampa Bay, to the NFC, and won a 7th. Can Patrick Mahomes do that? Sure, it's possible. He's on the pace to do that. But I think people need to pump the brakes and let him do that before they start crowning this kid the GOAT before he even turns 30.
Yeah, and I don't know about crowning them, but they sure do have a recipe over there. And I think the recipe is you got to have the quarterback. You got to have the coach. Mm-hmm. And I think the two can't be exclusive from each other. The two have to go together. You know, what you think about it? Because you can't have one without the other, even though Tom Brady did go to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but they had a good coach. I would say the coaching was still there. Mm-hmm. He did go to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and win himself a Super Bowl. So I wouldn't say that it's, but you know, you got these Hall of Fame elite type coaches. You got an elite player to go with it, not just a top tier, but it's another tier above the top. And those are elite for quarterbacks, for the Patrick Mahomes and the Tom Brady's.
You know who I believe is happy as heck right now? Kareem Hunt.
He's not the only one.
Super Bowl.
He's not the only one. I mean you look at he ain't happier than Saquon.
He could have been stuck here with us.
You right.
Watching on the couch watching.
You right. Who else?
Maybe on an island somewhere watching. You
know who else
vacation,
there?
Off season.
What's his name? The receiver from the Texans. Who used to be with the Texans.
Hopkins?
DeAndre Hopkins is a Kansas City Chief. He was giving an interview and he was like, man, I got traded for peanuts in my prime.
Yeah.
That's what he said. And that's why I didn't go coach
But look at
with Bill
God.
O'Brien because he traded DeAndre Hopkins. Do you remember that? We went ahead and did our TV show because remember how I showed you the message from Bill O'Brien?
About to go coach over there.
I was about to coach with the Texans, and Bill O'Brien was like, "Man, we don't got no state tax, and I'll send you home for the summertime. You can be there with your kids."
You doing a little TV show, remember?
Yeah, he was like, "Man, this is what you want to do." I'm like, "Yeah, but for me, it is security. I have a family." He's like, "Man, we got no state tax, the best schools."
Best schools, I remember saying that.
And I wanted to say this, but I didn't. I wanted to say, Ryan, but you traded DeAndre Hopkins. You're not gonna let. I wouldn't want to say that though.
Yeah,
I'm like, you traded away your quarterback's favorite target.
Yeah.
And it was and that kind of did it for
the
me.
head coach, huh?
I couldn't. I just didn't want to say that.
Team, yeah.
You know, but you see DeAndre Hopkins down with them, with the Chiefs on his way to a Super Bowl. You see Kareem Hunt leaving the Browns, went back to the Kansas City Chiefs on his way to a Super Bowl. All these things are coming in to fruition for these guys full circle.
Yeah.
And you got a team who's been there and done it before. And I don't think the country really want to see Kansas City Chiefs again win it. But they got all these full circle moments. And we're going to talk about the conspiracy theories coming up next about Kansas City.
It's no conspiracy.
All right, when we come back, we're going to talk about that.
We'll be right back. All right, now you guys, welcome back to The Return with Josh and Maria Cribbs. And we're still talking about the big game, the matchup coming up. Now, I want to keep it straight up with you guys. And be honest, y'all. Do the Chiefs get a little help from the refs when it comes to these games? Because a lot of people on X, I got one comment, the guy, he's like, wait a minute, the Chiefs are heading back to Super Bowl after one of the worst officiated games in NFL history. The Bills got screwed by the refs, 10 of the worst calls ever. Then he put one up. The refs somehow ruled this a catch for KC. But he had a whole list of them. I couldn't put them all up on there. You can go follow him and find out what he's talking about. But is there any truth to that? Is there a little, I can't even say home cooking. Because it happens when they're home or away, it seems like.
I think it does seem like the refs favor the Chiefs. However.
The refs are Swiftie fans.
That's a good one. However, you have to beat the team and the refs. Every kid, you know, when you're you're coming up in higher level of football, the coach preaches, we're going to go out there and we're going to beat them and the refs. Because you know, you expect certain games where you're not going to get the good calls because the refs are human. Even if it seems like we have to give them unrefutable evidence, unrefutable action, unrefutable plays that you couldn't call nothing. We just scored. We was just that much better than you.
But if the ref right there didn't see what just happened, why are you coming from 50 yards away saying what?
Because they want to see Taylor Swift perform. They want to see, and I think Ryan? I was watching. Look, I was watching Ryan on the show on the network. Mm-hmm. They want to see Taylor Swift and Kelsey. Uh-huh. Kelsey might get down on a knee. Yeah.
Oh, and propose.
Right on the stage or something, right?
So my prediction I made a few weeks ago was, yes, I did say that I think after the Chiefs win the Super Bowl, Travis Kelsey will propose to her. But that's not where I stopped because that's a pretty vanilla prediction, right?
Right.
I think that's a lot of people have that conclusion.
We think that's a given.
But what I think is going to happen, and I truly believe this to my core, is either, I don't know if Travis Kelce will retire or not, but that's beside the point. I think you'll have months leading up to, they'll build this whole commercialized event and they'll have commercials and stuff, and some network will pick it up. It'll be a live wedding of Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift, similar to how the royalty get married in like England.
Oh.
I really believe that'll happen. Like, that's how popular these guys are.
They're really popular.
If Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift are okay with doing that, because everybody's going to want a piece of that.
They got enough money, but
I really think I could see that happen.
You know when it happened? I want to take it a step further.
Get that money, Kelsey, and Miss Swift.
We're thinking of when it could happen. The Hall of Fame game.
If I was a woman.
Hold on, Maria. The Hall of Fame game. Like leading up into the football season, they start off, they got all this stuff about, you know, he could retire. He could. Or they could just lead up to it, the Hall of Fame game, talking about football, the NFL. I mean, they selling all this commercial time, wedding photos, pictures, the best man. You see his brothers, his mom. They going to have to throw Cleveland in. And then at the Hall of Fame game, right before the Hall of Fame game, you see Taylor Swift
what do you mean
and
before
Travis
the Hall
Kelce
of Fame game? You're saying that he might retire?
I think if they win the Super Bowl, there's a decent chance.
So then it might not be a Hall of Fame game.
No, you're not understanding. So every year it's a Hall of Fame game. For people who don't know, the first preseason game is a Hall of Fame game. The game is at the Hall of Fame. Like we went to it.
But he'd be retired by then.
We went to the game for I think
Yeah, we were at the
Chicago
we were there.
was
We were there, yeah.
It don't
Yeah, the
matter.
brew
They don't
kettle.
have to play in it. I'm not saying that
Oh,
he's
okay.
playing in the game. I'm saying that the cover. That's when it will happen, and it will be
The
viewed.
proposal?
No, the wedding.
Oh,
The wedding would be like at the. It's a football thing, so you're joining two houses. That's like if we take it to Game of Thrones,
Yeah.
the house of pop star
Ladies.
in the house of NFL entertainment.
First of all,
two
if it's
entertainment
gonna
meccas coming
happen,
together
if
at
it's-
the Hall of Fame, maybe.
if it's
I
gonna
mean,
happen,
the Rock and Roll Hall of
it
Fame
needs to happen on Netflix.
in Cleveland. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is in
needs to
Cleveland.
Okay, they can have it wherever location.
Netflix, it's gonna be buffering.
Are like really putting out these
And if
top tier
it's gonna
productions.
buffer. Well, yeah, they did the
Taylor
last one.
Swift and Travis Kelce deserve nothing but the best. But what I want to ask our viewers right here, fellas and ladies, would you want your man, if you were Taylor Swift and you were dating Travis Kelce, and he had a big game he had to be at in a couple of weeks, would you want him to propose at that big game? And then fellas, would you want to take time off of your work day out of what you do for your career in your industry to stop and propose to your woman? Now, would that be out of place?
No, that would be magical. It would be magical because
What I
players
want that.
already do it, Maria.
Players do it
all
I always
the
see
time.
the fans do it during halftime. I've never seen a
College guys do it all the time. They propose at the end of the game, or when they had a big game and they won, they go to
But aren't you supposed to be
their
locked,
spouse.
Ryan? Are you supposed to be locked in this
It's
game? You
after
can't
the
think about a
game. It's after they win. It happens on the field. They're like hugging and stuff, and they're like, and he gets down on the knee, and all the guys are around him.
Win or lose? So say you lose. You still
That
propose?
matters.
It's-
Don't lose and
it's
think I'm like, no,
scripted.
get
They're
up.
winning. It doesn't matter. But
They're
the only pullback I have on my prediction, and I still think even if what I'm about to say doesn't happen, the live wedding could still happen. I'm telling you, like I'm putting money on that. If so, I can
That'd
bet
be
it somewhere,
crazy.
some illegal gambling spot. He will. I don't know if Taylor Swift would want him to do that because you're already so publicized. Everything you do is private. I think if the wedding's one thing, because that's going to be high covered and whatnot, but you probably would want your proposal to be intimate. That's the one thing I think Taylor Swift why it probably might not happen after the Super Bowl. But I mean, if they want the Hollywood story, then
Yeah, I don't think so.
Let's let something be private.
I think it'll all be public. Hey, we heard about him in public. Don't get. And I'm not saying that they have to be stuck to this, but I'm just being devil's advocate, right? Don't try to be private after we done seen Taylor Swift go at all be in the suite. We were forced to see.
Don't be private on us.
Yeah,
now.
we were forced to see you.
But
now
that wasn't her fault.
No, it's not
She
about
can't
her
help that
fault.
She's
It's not a problem.
Uber star.
But it's not a problem. Let's see it now. I mean, it's been playing out. We've seen them hugging and kissing after the game. This last game, they right there. That's the first time I seen them actually hugging, embracing him.
I think me
tongue
too.
her down. Now I'm invested.
Hold on, he gave her a little tug.
I'm invested, Ryan. I'm invested. God dang it! I'm from Cleveland. He saw me play here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Growing up at Heights, him and his brother. So I'm invested now. I want to see them. I want to see them propose.
Yeah.
I want to see him get on his knee and be like, in his pads. I think that's a wondrous thing because the eyes of the world are watching.
I'm just saying, I want my royalties when that happens.
And that's,
Ryan called it first. Ryan called it first.
And that is very much football royalty too.
Yeah.
They'll become football royalty.
Yeah.
Two houses, NFL entertainment, pop star entertainment come together.
So I guess my thing is, will anybody see it though?
They need to.
No, but I'm
What do
just
you
saying,
mean, see
according to the hashtag, Ryan, I think you got a photo of the hashtag that's trending on X right
What,
now.
what is the hashtag?
Hashtag boycott the Super Bowl.
Boycott the Super Bowl.
Yeah, people are saying
I'm
as a
football
lifelong,
guy.
look, it says as a lifelong diehard football fan, this hurts more than watching my own team lose. Never seen a game so clearly rigged in my life. I'd rather watch my rival earn a ring fairly than to watch any team be gifted a free one. It's ruining the league. Hashtag boycott the Super Bowl. Hashtag rigged. What do y'all think about that?
And even when I was playing, everybody always said, hey Josh, is the
your
come
friends
on
would
man, tell me
always.
for real, man,
Yeah.
is it rigged? Cause I'm about to play this parlay on y'all. Are you gonna score? I'm like, son, it's not rigged. I used to swear up and down by the shield because no one player can rig a game, Ryan. But you know who can? The refs. You can drop a flag on anything and say, yeah, he was holding. And if they about to score, you can drop the flag out your pocket And if they don't score, you're like, okay, I'm picking it up. Like it happened in the game. Like a flag was thrown when Buffalo almost converted that fourth down.
Yeah, like just in case.
And they, yes, like, oh, they didn't get it. Oh, okay, I was waving it. Game over. And it's like, wow, right? And maybe so, Maria. I don't think nobody's going to boycott it.
Has there ever been an investigation?
There's too much money on it.
But has there ever been an investigation into the refs?
No, because it's entertainment. The NFL is a private organization. They could actually, rig it. But it's like, so? It's entertainment. It's no longer professional sport. It's entertainment.
You're going to still watch. Whether it's rigged or not, you're still going to tune in every season, every Sunday, Monday,
and with that,
Thursday. Commercial break?
Yes, indeed.
Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. All right, now welcome back to the return. Now, Josh just let the whole world know that it is rigged and we should boycott.
I didn't say that.
Oh, you didn't say that?
No,
you didn't say that.
I didn't say that's a multi 500.
I was gonna say, Murray, you gotta be careful. There's gonna be a black man waiting outside your house when you get home.
No,
I live and die by the shield. You ain't take away.
It's just crazy how it's so much traction. You know, people are looking with the squinted eyes, like, what's going on? Especially when it's your team. But I will say, if anybody need to be investigated, it probably would need to be the ref. And if you're not investigating them, how do you know for sure they're not?
Well, they're human.
They have to have their favorites. They have to have their favorite players or personalities. Like, say, I know when I went to see you when you were coaching a ref, I was taking a picture with you, and the ref's like, "You want one with me?" Like, they think they're celebrities in their own mind.
But they're human. It was just a joke. You know, I remember that. They're human. The ref's gonna make mistakes. Just don't make too many of them.
He definitely wanted me to take his picture. I think
the only way you can do it is two ways.
Do you know the refs, Ryan?
Wait, a ref asked you if you wanted a picture with him?
It was not a joke. He was serious.
He was trying to holler at her. She don't realize
we know who they are.
He's trying to holler at her.
He was not trying to holler at me.
He sees young, small, petite,
Ryan, these
right
refs
there.
are on TV. They think you recognize their faces. When they come in, they give them their minute.
Like them NFL men.
They give them their 10 seconds of saying holding or whatever. They think you recognize their face. They really. So I think they like.
He was looking at her, Ryan. She just ain't realize it. That's all. He was trying to get some Maria. That's all. And look, I was about to say the two things that make it, uncheatable. Let's say that is the refs would have to be, their calls will have to be reviewed. Let's say that, like a unbiased or whatever. And they trying to do that also in football, in college football. They're thinking about having like a kind of like a committee. If a call was like questionable, like a committee of refs that's not in that, has nothing to, unbiased, it would have to be like that, Maria, an unbiased, group that, looks and evaluate each call simultaneously, like quickly, because you can't waste a lot of time. Or they basically have these, I forgot my second thing I was talking. I forgot the second one, but
like doing something in real time, where like checks and balances.
And they do that with the reverse calls.
Yeah, with the reverse calls.
However, they can
but
still.
But some of these penalties mess up.
They can still, but it can't be tic tac, stuff like that. Like it could go either way.
And I think the league
it's no more really blatant.
No,
these holding calls is what's do. It's like that wasn't holding, or man, he's holding him. Yeah. He can't get. It's like, what are you looking at?
How could you not see that?
Yeah.
Right.
It's like, what can't you not see?
I think the league knows no matter, what the fans, they can fuss all day long. They know you're going to still tune in. So I don't believe anything is going to, no investigation, nothing's going to be done about it. They know you will tune in and you're not boycotting that Super Bowl. Come on now. Because Sis is going to be at halftime.
Yeah, I want to see the commercials. I want to see the I want to see the big play commercial.
Facts.
And I want to see the commercials on there. Not just ours, but it's a lot of stuff we need to see from that Super Bowl.
Right.
So. Got to find another
question, guys. How do you feel about comedian Cheryl Underwood, which she's one of my favorite personalities, most beautiful. I just love her all the way around. She sat down with Shannon Sharp on Club Shay Shay, and she made a statement that's kind of getting people, a little ruffled. She said that no matter how much money she makes, her husband will always be the head of the household.
I like that.
And the way she broke it down,
God dang it.
I like it too,
Cheryl
Ryan.
Underwood, I like you.
Because she's a woman and she's established. She makes a good coin.
God dang
and she
it.
might not necessarily marry someone who makes the same amount of money
and
as her.
I remember because
she's saying it doesn't matter.
Because Shannon was like, the breadwinner is always assumed that they have more money. She looked at it as value. if this man is pushing me to meet my full potential and I happen to make more coins to the household, well, he's going to take care of the household. He's going to take care of the coins that go into the household. Anything that, the roof on the head, he's going to run the household. And it's the authority that she's giving, the label as well matters to a man. To give him that authority is everything to me. Cheryl is good in my book.
I like
she
Cheryl
has
as
a
well.
plate if she came over my house.
Sounds like
she had
Harrison Butker's dream come true.
Oh, that one guy that did that
Harrison
speech.
Butker.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
I remember
But
that.
you know what? She ain't in the kitchen. Cause that's the thing. Like, he likes a traditional woman. And you know what? I'm not too far off of that.
Some women want to
Just
be
because
that,
I
though.
like a traditional woman don't mean I don't want a woman that can do her own thing. I was raised to want that, to think that that's what a man should want. Man take care of the household. Guess what, Maria? You ain't got to work.
I don't know why he was raised that
Look,
way.
you ain't gotta work.
Both of his parents worked.
But that was me. I wanted more. I didn't want my mom to work. I know my parents made money collectively, but I wanted to make enough so you ain't got to do nothing. My wife would just sit there and be pretty. That's
Be
what
pretty.
I wanted.
No,
Yeah,
she
be
want a
whatever
life
you
of her
want to
own.
be.
All
Be
right.
whatever you want to be.
Well, we got
but
some.
do it at home and be waiting
And
for
see
me.
that, and we'll be right back. Don't
With
go
nothing
nowhere.
on.
Josh talking crazy. We'll be right
Nothing
back.
on.
Welcome back to the show. Now, in this day and age, when guys are doing all these podcasting and things like that, I want to know what's your thoughts on. We talked about Cam Newton, I believe, last week. He's always going viral for something. He sat down with Dwight Howard. Dwight Howard played down in Florida somewhere, right?
Yeah.
Miami Heat, something like that.
Orlando.
Yeah. Dwight Howard's ex, and it's one of the mother of his children.
remember that.
Royce Reed. But he recently asked
Had Royce
her,
on the show. Yeah.
Is
I saw
Cam
that.
Newton being messy? He recently asked her about Dwight
Dwight's.
Howard's sexuality.
Right.
Which I'm like, you know what? I understand back in the day, like we had our Oprahs and our Sally Jesse Raphaels. But then when it comes to the men, like even Shannon Sharp sometimes, he was getting me for a minute. I'm like, I don't want to see you really being messy because to me, you like a big masculine man. Why are you gossiping with women? But Royce was telling her story, and I think he just wanted to dive a little deeper. But to be discussing someone's sexuality, and I will say J.R. Smith, stand-up guy from Cavs, he called him out on it too. Is that
He
being
did.
messy?
I think it is
Why you
being
wanna
messy.
know Dwight Howard,
and look,
what he does in his
I
bedroom?
used to mess with Cam, meaning that
That was
we
cool.
was
Yeah,
cool.
you
Did United Way together in DC and hung and did a lot of that whole weekend.
Yeah.
And was familiar with him off the field at events and everything. However, I think J.R. Smith, he was right on it. He hit it right on the head, like the nail on the head when he said, "Hey, bro, that ain't it," because he's tearing down another brother, right? And
I think it's at the expense of they feel like, well,
Yeah, it's
Royce
messy.
She's telling her story though, and she's been telling. I will
Brian.
say, I used to watch her on Basketball Wives. She's been kind of saying things about Dwight Howard for like at least a decade. So, okay, it's like a safe space for a woman to be able to have her conversation with Cam Newton. But I'm just looking at as Cam Newton, the men. I do not like to see men on podcasts doing what's portrayed as something that a
Right.
woman does, being feminine,
And not
gossiping
just
and all
that.
that. Even though men gossip more than women, I just don't
No,
like
they
to
don't.
see it.
Yeah, I'm about to
y'all
say
do.
that's- no, we
y'all
don't.
Do. Anytime you meet a woman, say,
We
I
don't.
You know, girls talk too much. Men talk a lot
No,
too.
we don't.
Yes, they do. Go to the barbershop.
Look,
This is what they be talking about.
Yeah, and that's one place. We don't do it on the
But
phone.
now they got the podcast in your face and it's making Cam.
Hold
It
on
looks
now.
real messy. It's looking real sassy.
I'm gonna get back to Cam.
Go ahead.
But
You
we
ain't got that much
don't.
time.
We
You better hurry
don't
up.
gossip. And I just think, like, I remember one time you was asking me, like, how'd he die? Or how did this happen? I'm like, you was like, you ain't think to ask. Like, nah, brothers don't, guys don't talk like that. We like, man, you good? All right, bet. Guy was having a problem with his wife. I'm like, man, what happened? Is he all right? I'm like, I mean, we good. We played the video game and like, we good. You ain't ask him. No, we don't do the talking like that. So back to Cam real quick. She gave Cam an answer.
Maury Povich.
Hold on, Maria.
Jerry
She
Springer.
gave Cam an answer. She told Cam, not that I have seen. And that should have been it. But Cam pushed and was
I
like,
think it's
come
the
on
fact that
now.
yeah.
You come on now.
And
It
the
was
fact
like,
that you asked, it's like, man, I just.
well, he's
and
trying to
maybe
go
it's just me
viral.
being a
It's
little
business. I get it. It's
Yeah,
business.
we have had male talk show hosts that get a little messy. Jerry Springer, Maury Povich,
Right.
Phil Donahue.
You're right.
So I just. When
But that's
I see
their
Shannon
job.
Sharp and Cam Newton, I'm like, you don't have to do that.
That's their
You had
job
the video.
now.
You had the ice video because
That's
I
their
thought.
job. I don't know if we had time. That's their
How long
job.
was that video?
Like 12 seconds.
Okay, play that video real fast because the ice
My
raids.
favorite
There he goes right here.
taqueria, hell, the only taqueria that exists
Yeah.
anywhere near me in Ohio, just got raided by ICE, and they're going to be closed
we got
for
30
3
seconds.
days.
Okay, so Josh, the ice raids, I thought Ohio was like a sanctuary state where we wouldn't be conducting ice raids, but a lot
Okay.
is going on. It's affecting our community. I wanted to put that video out there. I looked at the comments. That restaurant was like a staple in the community. I'm sad to see what's going down. And maybe one day we'll be able to talk a little bit more about that on the show. We out of time, though.
Yeah, we out of time,
Cam
man.
Newton, he being messy. I don't like these men
I
being
just
sassy
think
on these
that
podcasts.
I don't like the messiness, but they got to make a living too. They try and go viral. That's
Man,
what it is.
It's
Like,
working,
are
though.
we messy?
We talking about them right now.
Are we messy?
Do we
Are we
gotta go,
being
Ryan?
messy by talking
We
about
got
it?
to go. We love y'all so much. Hey, enjoy
Yeah.
the warm weather. We'll see you next time on the return. Go
Peace.
Cavs.